You are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? This was a very interesting weekend. By the way, hope you guys are all doing well. Hope your weekend was fantastic. Mine was great. Thank you for asking. But here's the thing. I did not expect this to happen so soon. I expected this to happen, but I didn't expect this to happen so soon. And, you know, I was still sitting on the fence. I thought maybe this lawsuit would like fall through the cracks, or that there would be an actual settlement. I really didn't see this going into a courtroom. I really didn't see that happening. Not with what the claims, not with what this Jane Doe was saying about Shannon Sharpe and these allegations, which were really, really bad. What she said she had as far as video, etc. It apparently is not a very good look, period, point blank. But still, I was very surprised over this weekend to hear that, yeah, they settled this lawsuit. Now, a lot of people will be looking at this, side-eyeing the heck out of it and all that, and I don't blame them, because instantly you look at it and you go, wait a second, does this mean, is this an example of an admission of guilt? Or is this somebody who, no matter what, by the court of public opinion, it's a bad look for Shannon Sharpe, and he just wants to get it over with so he can keep continuing to make his multi-million-dollar business thrive, right? His podcast, his personality, etc., right? So instantly I wonder, is this an admission of guilt, like a Diddy situation with the Cassie situation? You see what I'm saying? And he just waited a little bit longer so optically it wouldn't look so bad? Or is this him saying, hey, I just want this over with. I need to keep moving. There's $100 million worth of deals on the table waiting for me. And I'm losing all these situations all these opportunities because of this lawsuit that is looming over my head. I don't know. Leave that in the back of your mind, okay, as we get into this information. Nonetheless, as you guys can see on the screen right now, Shannon Sharpe most definitely made a settlement. Okay, they reached an agreement between him and Gabriella Zuniga, or Jane Doe. Okay, which of course he went out and just said her name is Gabrielle. All right, he said it all out there. Okay, but nonetheless, that information is out there. Her name is Gabriella Zuniga. Now they've come to a settlement. And it's obviously a very pricey settlement because Gabriella Zuniga came out and said a few things which clearly show to you that she is now rich as hell. Okay, now let's get into this. Again, I think this is very interesting. Is this an admission of guilt? Is this not? I leave that up to you guys. Nonetheless, I can see this tarnishing Shannon Sharpe's brand. Okay. Everything that he's been building, everything that he's been working towards could fall away and fall apart right now because of this. Also, I will say this too, because this became a settlement and because of what she says in her statement, I have a feeling that there's going to be more accusers stepping forward trying to take down Shannon Sharpe. I just don't think that this is the only person that he's going to have to either fight in court or settle outside of court, because this was successful. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe her. Clearly, she had evidence enough to make him do a settlement, okay? It's not like she didn't have any smoking gun evidence. Apparently, there's a video, okay? And they apparently like doing some crazy race play stuff, all right? Him out there, you know, I don't know, Sammy out in the plantation blowing the back out of, the plantation's daughter. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. There's some wild stuff, okay, that they were doing behind closed doors. And apparently they were filming some of these things. They were doing their own version of freak offs, except theirs was racially motivated, okay? And that's how they got off. It's a whole other conversation. You know, we'll talk about the birds and the bees another time, okay? But nonetheless, this is all very, very bad for Shannon Sharpe. And I can see this in the very near future, more people going after him, because let's be real, Tony Buzbee is her lawyer, and they just had a successful turnout. They reached a settlement. Tony Buzbee obviously is making a little bit of money, some change, okay, a percentage off of this settlement. You don't think he's going to keep attacking Shannon Sharpe after this successful lawsuit became a settlement? I'm just saying, think about that for a second. Now, it's clear that they came to a very hefty, sizable settlement just by the statement that they use as a little quote here underneath this title. It says, this is from Tony Buzbee, same guy that we've all been side-eyeing since the Jay-Z Diddy lawsuit, okay? All matters, he says, all matters have now been addressed satisfactorily, okay? When was the last time you said that? Satisfactorily, okay? And the matter is closed. Satisfactorily means she got paid. We're going to look at something else, too, that shows proof positive that she got paid, y'all, okay? The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice, okay? So it's gone. And yeah, I'd be, you know, my face would be more than just pursed up like that, okay? Looking like he just took a big bite out of a lemon, okay? But seriously, I'd be, woo! If I'm innocent and I didn't do anything and I still have to pay some person that's that's accusing me of doing some terrible things, man, guys, I'd be livid. But that's just me, though, okay? So Shannon Sharpe has settled a $50 million R&SA lawsuit that was filed against him earlier this year. So Tony Buzbee, which we all know, okay, the attorney of the woman who filed the lawsuit, confirms to People that he and Shannon Sharpe's lawyers have, quote unquote, reached a mutually agreed upon resolution. Both sides acknowledge a long-term consensual and tumultuous relationship, he said. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I'm pleased to announce that we have reached a mutually agreed upon resolution. All matters have been addressed satisfactorily, as I read earlier, and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. So, Shannon Sharpe's attorney, okay, Lanny Davis, declined the comment on the case when they were reached out for comment by People. So, as you guys already know, in April, Shannon Sharpe was accused of R&SA in a lawsuit filed by a woman identified in court documents as Jane Doe. But her real name, because he went out and made a public statement, you know, and he said, hey, her name is Gabriella. She goes by such and such on OF, okay? He was not feeling this, okay? And of course, everybody and their mama looked up this woman just to see who she was and all that. And of course, she was out here speaking out through her Instagram story posts, basically saying like, soon I'll be out and I will speak out. I will say my side of the story. Everyone did the math and we knew exactly who this person was. Long story short. Okay. And I still don't understand why they still keep on calling her Jane Doe when we already know her mother-loving name is Gabriella Zuniga. But that's another conversation in itself as well. Okay. The woman at that time, okay, for her lawsuit, she requested $50 million in damages and alleged that the former ESPN host R''d her on multiple occasions over the course of a nearly 2-year, quote unquote, rocky consensual relationship. She also claimed that Sharpe recorded their encounters, their spicy, racially motivated, okay, encounters without her consent and shared the recordings with others. So now that's a piece that I never knew about. I don't remember hearing anything about their encounters being, filmed without her consent. That is new information to me. But still, no matter what, okay, apparently there is footage of her saying no multiple times, and Shannon Sharpe continued doing what he was doing. There was no letting up. The brakes were broken off that mother lover, unfortunately, and he did not listen to her when she said no. And what have we learned on this show multiple times? It doesn't matter if 110 of them, of your encounters with somebody is consensual. If the 111th one is the moment that person says no, you need to stop, or it's R. That's it, guys, or SA, period. Okay, that constitutes as that. Now, if there is footage of him actually doing what he is alleged of doing and not stopping, he's in trouble. You see what I'm saying? And here's the other piece too that I find very interesting too. He was offered another amount before this lawsuit even dropped. There was already an offer of a certain amount of money on the table, and that did not happen. Okay. I guess she had a counter offer. He kind of scoffed that off like, no, I ain't paying you nothing like that. And she said, okay, well, everybody and their mom about to know about you and us and what we do behind closed doors. And now he's paying a hefty, hefty price. He's probably paying more than what he was going to pay in the first doggone place, right? When the first offer was put out there. So again, within 50, all right, the cutoff number, I'm sure, obviously is 50. So it's got to be within the 20s, 30s, maybe 40s. Okay. But she got paid, y'all. She seriously got paid. Now, of course, Shannon Sharpe has denied all these allegations. Okay. At the time, in a statement, he described the lawsuit as a shakedown attempt, and claimed that the relationship between the woman and Sharpe was entirely consensual. It very much gives you, or at least it gives me, Cassie and Diddy vibes for sure. Okay. And I understand and I get it. There's going to be people out here that are going to say this was definitely a shakedown. Shannon Sharpe was, with a woman that was completely fine with this type of arrangement, this type of relationship. And then things, I don't know, something got a little crazy, something got out of hand. But you also got to remember, this is also the same woman that was saying, hey, $25,000 per cheek or something crazy like that, solely because they have a transactional, eschewal relationship, right? And there's plenty of those kinds of relationships. Look at the Jane Doe and Diddy situation. That was a completely transactional relationship. Okay. And then, of course, there were moments that were toxic. Yes. It was tumultuous at times. Yes. But at the same time, there was most definitely a transactional understanding between Diddy and that Jane Doe. We're looking at that same situation in a way with the Shannon Sharpe situation until he's caught on film doing something illegal. Like I said, it's completely consensual 110% of the time. But that 110th time, 111th time, she says no, that's illegal. Okay? That's R. That's SA. Period, guys. It's pretty insane. Nonetheless, all right? But still, what's crazy to me is that this settlement, that this happened, that there was a settlement outside of court. I thought he was going to sit here and fight this tooth and nail till the end of time. You know what I'm saying? I was expecting that, and that didn't happen right here. Okay, clearly, something happened. She has some sort of smoking gun evidence that's going to be very tough for him to shake off his shoulders, okay? He definitely would not be able to dodge this situation. That's what I truly think, hence the reason why there was a settlement instead of them actually going inside a courtroom. And I also think that there's a lot of deals, etc., that were pending, that were just sitting on a desk waiting for him to get this over with so he can get those multi-million-dollar deals up and running. His shows are still doing well for themselves for the most part. This didn't completely tarnish his name, but at the same time, maybe it will tarnish his name even more. I don't know. Maybe because of this settlement. Maybe because he didn't decide to just fight this inside a courtroom. I don't know, but I leave that up to you guys. Again, when Diddy ended up settling with Cassie, regardless of how fast that settlement was done, which was the fastest in the history of settlements, okay? Within 24 hours of that paperwork, that document coming out to the public, it was settled, right? Regardless of the speed, he still settled. And we all saw that as an admission of guilt for a lot of people. We saw that as an admission of guilt. Is this an admission of guilt to you when it comes to Shannon Sharpe doing this? I leave that. Of course, I keep asking you guys that, but that is the ongoing pending question. Now, here's the thing. We got to talk about Gabrielle Zuniga, okay? Because this is absolutely insane. Clearly, she got some serious money, okay? She got them ducats dough, all right? She got crazy paid, and now she got paid so well, and this settlement is so fire that she is now quitting OF. She is no longer wearing negligees for a couple likes and a couple $1,000s a month. No more. She is done with it. She has gone. She has moved on with her life. The money she made is insane. Here she is. She posted on her Instagram story saying this: "Today I have decided to retire from OF." We could stop right there. We don't even need to go any further. Clearly, the sneaky link got the dough. Come on now. The sneaky link got the mother-loving dough. Take a look. She didn't even need to finish saying anything else. Everyone would have been like, all right, okay, bet. Yeah, you got the money. You got paid. Congratulations, I guess? I don't know. Again, some people are looking at this as, oh, this is a shakedown. So she got the money that she wanted so she could finally retire. She could finally hang that G-string up for good, okay? And now she could look back at it and go, yes, I used to wear them back in the day. I used to wear those G-strings, that dental floss for my booty. That's literally what's going on here, which is absolutely insane. That's what I think a lot of people are going to look at. This is a shakedown. She got her money. Now she can go retire, buy a little island, and live off the fat of the land. But let's take a look at this. She said, today I have decided to retire. She didn't need to decide, okay? She got millions of dollars, all right? But now she has decided that she is retiring from OF. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. All right. I didn't know that it was a community. It's just a whole bunch of dudes just whacking off. But okay, that's a community. That's a circle. Never mind. But it's a community, apparently. Okay. I'll still be active on social media. Of course she's going to still be active on social media. You know what she's going to do? She's going to be like, here on my super yacht. You know what I mean? Here on that the new property or the new real estate I just invested in. Watch. And she's going to completely rebrand herself. No more booty cheeks, okay? Backs and booty holes. None of that. We ain't going to see none of that no more. We're going to see nothing but like rich lifestyle of the rich and famous, okay? We're going to see that. Watch. But I'm sorry. Continuing on. So she says, this community has given me a life I could never have imagined. I'll still be active on social media, and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. What are those projects? Probably a tell-all podcast of some sort, maybe a book that she's writing. Maybe she's signed the rights to her story to Tubi. I don't know, but it's definitely going to be there for show. Okay, so she can't wait to share. Like I said, tell-all book or tell-all interview is coming out very, very soon. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. I love you all forever and ever. Yeah, she's happy as hell right now because she's going to see more money than she's ever seen in her entire freaking life. And all she had to do was make a lawsuit happen. Now, like I said, some people are going to look at this and go, this was a full-on shakedown that was successful and we saw it in real time. Or we're going to look at this, some people are going to look at this and say, hey, you know, what he did was wrong. He shouldn't have done what he did. No means no. And he should have listened to her when she said, stop, period. Like I said, my question still is to you guys. What you think? To me, I think it's a combination of two different things. I think he screwed up. I think he did a very, very bad thing. She saw it. She took that opportunity and she ran that ball all the way to the end zone. You see what I just did there? Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I just did a football analogy because he's ex-football. Okay, never mind. I don't need to explain it to you, but you get what I'm saying. So what say you guys? What do you think? The sneaky link in this situation reigns supreme. Is it a shakedown, or did he do something illegal? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, okay? We got to go, but hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk here soon. Sneaky links, y'all. Got to be careful with those sneaky links. Oh, and yeah, if they say no, it really means no. So just listen to that too. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.